guys, welcome back to the Friday Finish Lines. Thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel where I take motivational quotes and I use them on different topics, not only to inspire you guys, but you take these quotes and use them to inspire others. That being said, my topic of discussion today is leave it. I don't have any quotes for you guys today, but I'm going to give my testimonial and let you guys know what is it that I'm leaving in 2025. Because last week I talked about what are we taking into 2025, who, what, and how we're going to leave these things and move on to something better. All right, so with that being said, let's get started. All right, you might be asking yourself, what, how, and who do I leave in 2025? And obviously this is something that is, I would say, not necessarily self-explanatory, but it's something that you know. It's not necessarily something that you want to do because maybe you're gonna hurt someone's feelings, maybe it's something that you have done a long time in your life, maybe something that you're trying to break, old habits, old ways, old thinking, and it's really tough to do these things. So when it comes to breaking down these old habits or moving away from things that aren't necessarily serving you anymore, it does take time. And a lot of us are afraid to necessarily put in that time because maybe it just seems so far, maybe it seems like a huge chore, maybe it's just like not, worth it for you in this moment. But a lot of the times you have to think for yourself, okay, if not now, then when? If this isn't something that I'm going to take care of in this moment, when is it going to happen? And if I don't start now, if I don't start making the proper changes, making the proper avenues to move away, to sort of shift my mindset to something else, am I ever going to really do it? And then it sort of creates this snowball effect of yourself kind of falling into old traps, falling into old ways of thinking because you never put in the work, because you never thought, hey, maybe I should just start doing it now, and maybe a year from now things will be different. It's not something that has to be done right away, but it's something that you must sort of put into action. You must make this thing or sort of make this shift in this very moment today, because if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it, like I just said? So I would say to you in this, if you're struggling with this, trying to move away from something, trying to get away from it, do it now. There's no like, I'll just kind of like ease off of it here and there, or I'll just sort of not hang out with them here and there. No, it's sort of you either do it now or you forever hold your peace and you just kind of let it, play out how it's going to play out. But I mean, what's going to happen because you have dealt with this since last year. You've always had these thoughts. You've always had this kind of thing in the back of your head telling, hey, maybe this isn't necessarily good for us. We should move away from it. And not only do you talk yourself out of it, but you just revert back to it, or you make it worse. And you find yourself in the same hole, in these same situations where you're faced with adversity and you don't know what to do. So my message to you right now is to just stop. Make the proper changes, do what's necessary, and put yourself in a position to not only move yourself away from these things and these people, but just make the proper choices. It's your choice. Everything's our choice. And I always say this, and I will always say this, we are our greatest enemies when it comes to certain things like this, because not only do we know that it's not good for us, not only do we know that it's not serving us, but we choose to go back to it. And that's just like, that's the the double-edged sword of these things. It's where, yes, maybe we think we can control it, maybe we think we can sort of minimize it in a certain way and compartmentalize it in our life, but at the end of the day, if it's gotten to a point where you necessarily aren't making the choice anymore, and it's sort of just I guess habit's the word I would say. It's like second nature to you to do these things, just to put aside your feelings for other people, to do that. It's just the things that in your life that you sort of want to get rid of, but you just don't get rid of them because it's ingrained in your mind to do these things. So in order to break old habits and move on to new things is to replace them with new ones. A lot of us are afraid because when we start at the beginning of the year, we have all these resolutions, we have all these things that we're going to do, but we don't get to them. Or just revert back to what we did before in the previous year, and we never grow, never change. But a lot of us think that it has to happen right away. And when I said stop now, the reason I said stop now is because you'll never go about it if you don't make the proper choice in this moment, because a lot of us are just so fixated on jumping back and forth that we never truly find ourselves doing something different, because we're so caught up in this idea that, oh, it'll just go away as I get older, things will slow down. Like, no. You have to realize that things that you're doing now, the habits, the mindset, the things that you allow people to do to you in this very moment is what you will continue to allow for the rest of your life. And the next thing you know, you'll wake up and you'll be 45 year olds, and you'll be thinking to yourself, why am I still dealing with the same stuff I dealt with 20, 30 years ago, 15 years ago? Who knows? And this is a question you gotta ask yourself. Do you want to still have the same problems that you're having right now? Or do you want to look back and think to yourself, oh wow, I'm glad I made that change. I'm glad I did that thing. So we're sort of move on from that mindset, move on from these things. And just give you a little bit about my, testimonial and kind of where I'm going with it this next year. This idea that, for me, I'm big people pleaser, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that I want to get away from because it sacrifices sort of a part of me where I'm not voicing my opinion, I'm not voicing how I really feel, and I'm letting sort of other people, let them be them. And it's also disservice to them because not only will they not ever know that their actions are doing to me, and I probably to other people too, but now they're sort of going and reverting back to their old ways. And it's not my job to sort of save them, but it's also my job not to sacrifice my own feelings because someone else is feeling a certain way. And I'm also going to stop getting on my phone in the morning. I know that's really a tough one. Honestly, it's really tough. I'm getting better, but it's really something I'm working towards. And some of you might be looking like, oh, just don't do it. But I guarantee you're on your phone, just doing the same thing whether you know it or not. And so minimize the phone use. Also, just leaving, not speaking up, not speaking my mind. I know, like, this is separate from people pleasing. I guess speaking my mind is, living in that truth that, hey, my words matter, and even if it's not necessarily the right thing to say or the proper thing to say, at least I said it, and then now not only can someone else correct me, but I can learn now and grow and be better. So those are the kind of things that I'm sort of leaving in 2025 and bringing into 2026, this different mindset. And, not necessarily people, people come and go. I love and love and love, and I always will. And that's just how life is. We grow up, we grow older, and not only does your life change, but your trajectory of your friends and your family's lives change. And you sort of, you never lose that touch, you never lose that sort of feeling with them, but you go on, you live life, and that's okay. So ask yourself this: what am I living in 2025, and what are you trying to bring in 2026? And are you having the same conversation that you had before? And what can you do to sort of move from that and sort of put yourself in a position so that 5 years from now you look back and you're like, wow, I'm glad that I got away from that, because I would probably still be doing the same thing that I was doing 5 years ago. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me here on my Friday Finish Lines. I'll see you guys next week with a new video. I appreciate each and every one of you for loving, watching, and enjoying my videos. It's not the last one of the year, but yeah, this is a really good one. Next week I'll probably be a little different one, but I just burped. But yeah, I will have something new for you guys next year. And yeah, 2026, it feels good. I feel on fire, and it's a beautiful thing. So I wish you guys all the best. Stay safe, take care of your loved ones, and drink your water. All right, see you guys next week.